Filthy hands off me!
The white billionaire yanked his palm away as if he'd just touched something contaminated.
I don't shake hands with people like you!
Sir, we've just signed the contract. This is the procedure.
300 cameras broadcast the moment live.
Mr. Whitmore, think carefully before you speak.
Her voice stayed level, but her eyes shifted. He slowly removed his white opera gloves, one finger at a time, then tossed them into the trash can beside the signing table.
Caution is never wasted. You never know what might rub off on you in a room like this.
You'll regret that.
She spoke so softly, only the nearest microphone picked it up. What he didn't know was that 90 minutes later, the same man who tossed that glove would be on his knees, begging her. 6 hours earlier, that same Tuesday morning, the woman in the white blouse had no idea her name was about to trend worldwide. Whitney Moore wakes up at 5:30, the way she has every morning for the last 22 years. The Tribeca penthouse is dark except for one warm lamp in the corner. She brews her coffee black, no sugar, and drinks it while reading 2 newspapers in print, the actual paper kind, the kind that leaves ink on your fingers. Her phone stays face down on the kitchen counter. She likes the quiet. She has earned the quiet. By 7, she is walking down West Broadway in a charcoal coat, blending in with the crowd of nurses, baristas, and bond traders. No driver, no security detail. No one recognizes her. That is exactly how she likes it. At the lobby of her building, the morning doorman Daniel waves her over. His 10-year-old daughter Alana is presenting at the City Science Fair this weekend. Whitney remembers. She always remembers. What's her project about again? Water filtration, ma'am. She's been at it for 4 months. Tell her I'll be there Saturday, front row. Daniel's eyes get a little wet. He doesn't say anything. He just nods. This is who Whitney Moore is when no one is filming her. 8 blocks later, she walks into a quiet office on the 30th floor of a Park Avenue tower. No marble, no fountain, just glass walls so anyone can see in. The brass plate beside the elevator reads, More Strategic Capital. $11 billion in assets, 300 employees, 1 CEO. Theodore Davis is waiting for her in the conference room, a navy folder in his hand. Theodore has been her chief operating officer for 9 years. He has seen her negotiate deals that brought corporations to their knees, and he has seen her donate the entire bonus from those deals to scholarship funds nobody knew she founded. Project Foundry signs tomorrow, he says. 11 a.m. sharp. Bloomberg confirmed they'll carry it live. Project Foundry is a $1.5 billion growth capital agreement with Whitmore Industries. The conglomerate Harrison Whitmore inherited from his father and tripled in size through sheer aggression. The deal will fund their largest expansion in 2 decades. It has been announced to shareholders. It is already priced into the stock. Without this capital, the expansion collapses publicly, and Whitmore Industries loses billions in market value overnight. Theodore slides the folder across the table. He still doesn't know it's you. Whitney smiles without humor. He doesn't ask. He never asks. For 8 months, every negotiation has gone through intermediaries, white shoe lawyers, Ivy League bankers, the whole performance. Harrison Whitmore assumed More Strategic Capital was a quiet, old money fund run by men who looked like him. He never bothered to verify. Theodore hesitates. You're still attending the gala tonight? I want to see who I'm doing business with before I sign. Across town, in a 22-room penthouse on 5th Avenue, the man she is about to meet for the first time is screaming at his housekeeper. Harrison Whitmore is 58 years old. He is being honored tonight at the Whitmore Foundation Gala as Industrialist of the Decade. He is wearing a custom tuxedo from Savile Row, and he is furious because his Latina housekeeper, Rosa, has set out the wrong cufflinks. I said the platinum ones, not the silver. Are you deaf or just stupid? Rosa says nothing. She switches the cufflinks. Her hands are shaking. His longtime assistant, Edward Brooks, stands in the doorway holding a tablet. 19 years in this man's service. 19 years of swallowing every comment, every cruelty, every joke whispered at the expense of someone who couldn't fight back. Edward is 63. He has a granddaughter at Howard University. He keeps a private file on his personal laptop that he has never told anyone about. Edward, the guest list. Make sure the photo line tonight reflects our brand. Screen out anyone who doesn't look the part. You understand me? Yes, sir. And tell Catherine I want the speech moved up. I'm not standing around all night. In 4 hours, these two worlds will collide for the first time. The man who insists on a certain kind of room, the woman who is about to walk into it. Neither of them knows yet that the next 18 hours will end one of their empires forever. The Pierre Hotel glows like a jewel box that Tuesday evening. Black town cars line Fifth Avenue. Inside the grand ballroom, 400 of America's wealthiest people circulate beneath a ceiling of chandeliers. The orchestra plays something Viennese. Champagne flutes catch the light. Servers in white gloves glide between the tables. The room smells of perfume and old money. Whitney arrives at 7:15 in a simple black gown. Small pearl studs. No date. Catherine Anderson spots her and walks over quickly. Whitney, I am so glad you came tonight. Catherine, thank you for the invitation. I should warn you, Harrison is in rare form tonight. 2 glasses of champagne, and we have not even started dinner yet. I came prepared for rare form. Whitney, listen to me. If he says anything tonight, anything at all, I want you to know that I am with you, completely. I appreciate that, Catherine, truly. He is a deeply unhappy man, pretending to be a powerful one. Try to remember that when he opens his mouth. I will keep that in mind. They walk together toward the reception line. Harrison Whitmore stands at the top of the marble staircase in both white opera gloves, laughing with a senator from Texas. Senator, I always say there are 2 kinds of people in this country, builders and takers. Could not agree more, Harrison, could not agree more. And tonight, my friend, the builders are winning. As they should be, as they should be. Catherine steps forward. Harrison, I would like you to meet Whitney Moore. She is a donor to the foundation this year and a respected investor. Harrison turns. His eyes start at Whitney's shoes. They travel up her legs. They pause at her gown. They finally arrive at her face like an inspector checking a kitchen for rodents. His upper lip curls. He does not extend his hand. He nods once, slow, the way a man nods at a delivery driver. Then he whistles softly. Phew. One short note, loud enough for the senator to hear. Catherine, I have to ask you something. Who exactly is approving the guest list this year? Are we running some kind of inclusion experiment behind my back? A few chuckles. The senator coughs into his hand. Mr. Whitmore, Whitney says evenly, it is a pleasure to finally meet you. Charmed, I am sure. I have heard a great deal about your work over the years. How fascinating. I have heard absolutely nothing about yours. He turns to the next guest. Whitney is dismissed. Catherine's jaw tightens. Edward Brooks, 2 feet behind Harrison with the guest list, closes his eyes for a long second. Whitney walks into the ballroom alone. Her heels click against the marble. She finds her table. Table 22, far from the stage, near the kitchen entrance. The 4 guests already seated stare at her like she has wandered in from the wrong event. Good evening. May I join you? Of course, one of them says, without smiling. Whitney sits, places her clutch on her lap, and orders a glass of water. Across the room, Harrison is holding court at table 1, 3rd glass of Veuve Clicquot in hand. Did you see what walked in tonight, darling? He says to his wife, loud enough for 2 tables to hear. Catherine has finally lost her mind. Harrison, lower your voice. People can hear you. Why? She cannot hear me from over there, and even if she could, what is she going to do about it? Harrison, please. Relax, darling. Tonight is my night. Let me enjoy it. The waiter approaches Whitney with her water. He sets it down gently. As he turns to leave, Harrison's voice rings out across the room. Careful with that glass. Wouldn't want it confused with the staff table. Laughter. A woman at Whitney's own table snorts into her napkin. Thank you, Whitney says to the waiter, smiling. This is exactly what I needed. Ma'am, I am so sorry. I do not know what to say. You did nothing wrong. Please do not apologize for him. My mother is going to hear about this tonight. I promise you that. Tell her you handled it beautifully. The waiter retreats. Whitney lifts the glass and takes a long, calm sip. Margaret Sullivan, a veteran business journalist from the Wall Street Chronicle, watches from table 14. Her phone is in her lap, recording audio. She has covered Harrison for 11 years. She has never had him on tape saying anything quite like this. Catherine leans toward her husband. If he says one more thing tonight, one more thing, I swear to God, Richard. Catherine, please, not here, not now. He is humiliating her, in front of the entire room. Are you blind, or are you just choosing to be? And what do you propose we do about it? He controls the comp committee. He controls half the board. He controls nothing if we stop letting him. That is a beautiful sentence, Catherine. Now sit down before you embarrass us both. She does not respond. She just stares at Whitney's back from across the room. At 8:30, Harrison takes the stage to accept his award. He waves down the applause with both gloved hands. My friends, America was built by a certain kind of person. People who showed up. People who worked. People who earned their seat at the table. A few cheers from his table. We live in an age now where some people believe they deserve a seat simply by existing, simply by checking a box on a form, simply by being seen. Uncomfortable shifts in chairs. Someone clears their throat. Margaret's recorder is still rolling. I want to thank the real donors here tonight, the ones who built things, the ones whose families built things before them. And I want to extend a special thanks to our anonymous contributor for the $2 million gift. Although I do hope they remained anonymous out of modesty and not for some other reason they might be embarrassed about. His eyes flick directly toward table 22, toward Whitney. The pause is deliberate. The room understands. A woman at the table behind Whitney whispers, "Oh my God, is he serious right now? Did he just say what I think he said?" I think he did. I think he actually did. Whitney sets her water glass down. She places both hands in her lap. Her face stays completely still. The applause is thin. Catherine is not clapping. Edward is not clapping. The senator from Texas claps with one hand on the table. After the speech, Harrison descends from the stage and walks toward table 22. He stops at the table behind Whitney first, claps a man on the shoulder, makes a joke. He is making his approach look casual. He arrives at Whitney's chair. He does not sit. He leans down behind her, both hands gripping the backrest, and puts his face close to her ear. Let me give you some advice. His breath smells of champagne and contempt. People like you do not belong in rooms like this. You bought a ticket. You did not buy a place. I could end your career with one phone call before you finish that glass of water. So do us all a favor. Leave, with what little dignity you still have. 3 iPhones at neighboring tables are recording. Held low, screens dark. Margaret's is one of them. A young woman at table 19 has hers propped against a bread plate. Whitney does not turn her head. Mr. Whitmore, do you have any idea what you are doing right now? He laughs, a real laugh, the kind that says you are nothing and we both know it. I know exactly what you are doing. You are begging for attention, and you are not getting any from me. That is not a denial, Mr. Whitmore. That is a confession. Excuse me? 3 phones are recording you right now. I counted them when you sat down. Sweetheart, nobody cares what comes out of your mouth in this room. You should care, Mr. Whitmore. Tomorrow morning, you are going to wish you had cared a great deal. Tomorrow morning, I will not even remember your name. You will. I promise you that. You will remember it for the rest of your life. All right. That single word, all right. He does not hear what it means. He stands up, satisfied, brushes invisible dust off his sleeve, and walks back to his own table. He thinks he has won. Whitney picks up her clutch, places her napkin neatly on the table, thanks the server who is passing by, and walks out of the ballroom with the same dignity she walked in with. Her heels click steadily across the marble. 400 people watch her go. She does not cry in the elevator. She does not cry in the lobby. She steps into a black sedan waiting at the curb on 5th Avenue and pulls the door shut behind her. Where to, ma'am? Home. Take the long way. I need to think. Yes, ma'am. The driver pulls away from the pier and turns south on 5th. It is now 9:52 p.m. on a Tuesday night. The man who just humiliated her on stage in front of 400 of the most powerful people in America has exactly 14 hours left as the chief executive of his own company. He does not know that yet. The sedan moves slowly down 5th Avenue. Rain has started to fall, the kind of fine New York mist that turns every streetlight into a halo. Whitney sits in the back seat with her laptop open on her knees. The screen is the only light on her face. The email is already drafted. It has been drafted for 48 hours. To Theodore Davis. Subject, Project Foundry. Body, kill it. Effective immediately. Send the public statement at 8 a.m. Whitney. Her finger hovers over the send button. She does not press it. Outside the window, the city blurs past in streaks of gold and red. She closes her eyes. She is 12 years old again, sitting at the kitchen table of a 2-bedroom apartment in Detroit. Her mother is grading papers in the lamplight. Whitney has just been called something ugly by a boy in her class. She is crying. Her mother sets down the red pen. Baby, look at me. Mama, I want to make him pay. I know you do. I felt that exact same thing when I was your age. Then why are you not telling me to do it? Because destroying a man is not the same thing as winning, Whitney. Power is a knife. You can use it to defend yourself, or you can use it to cut your own soul out. Most people who get the knife end up doing the second thing without realizing. How do I know the difference, Mama? You will know. When the moment comes, you will know. Whitney opens her eyes. The sedan is stopped at a red light on Madison Avenue. Her phone vibrates against the leather seat. Unknown number. She almost ignores it. Then she answers. This is Whitney Moore. Ms. Moore, this is Margaret Sullivan, Wall Street Chronicle. I was at the gala tonight. Yes, I saw you. I have audio. I have video. I have the speech. I have what he said at your table. How did you get my number, Ms. Sullivan? I have been a journalist for 23 years, ma'am. I get numbers. I am calling because I am posting it tonight. I wanted you to know first. Whitney is silent for a long moment. Ms. Sullivan, post what you have. I will not give you a quote, but I will not ask you to wait. Thank you, Ms. Moore. And Margaret? Yes? Make sure people see his face when he laughed. They will. She hangs up. The phone buzzes again almost immediately. A different number this time. A text message. No name attached. I know who you are now. I looked you up. Cute little fund. Be very careful what you do tomorrow morning. I can ruin you and everyone you have ever worked with before lunch. H. Whitney reads the message twice, then a third time. Her face does not change. She forwards the screenshot to Theodore Davis with one line. Save this. Timestamp it. We will need it. She thinks about Harrison's daughter, Sophie, a sophomore at Stanford, who has done nothing wrong. She thinks about the 40,000 Whitmore Industries employees whose pensions are tied to the stock that will crater the moment she presses send. She thinks about Edward Brooks, who has spent 19 years carrying a man's cruelty in his back pocket like a stone. Her phone rings again. Theodore. Theo. How bad? He just sent me a threat, in writing, on the same night he humiliated me in front of 400 people. Send the kill order tonight, Whitney. Right now. We have everything we need. No. A long silence on the line. Whitney, are you sure about this? I want him to walk into that signing room tomorrow morning and have one more chance to be a human being. One. If he is, we go ahead with Foundry. If he is not, I want every camera in the room to watch what happens next. You are giving him a chance to apologize. I am giving him a chance to recognize me. There is a difference. And if he does not, then the way this ends will not be my responsibility. It will be his. Whitney, I have to ask you one more time. Are you sure? I am sure, Theo. All right, I am with you. I will be downstairs at 10:40 in the morning. She hangs up. She closes the laptop. She does not press send. At 11:47 that night, Margaret Sullivan posts a 90-second video to the Wall Street Chronicle website. She titles it, Watch what this billionaire said at his own charity gala tonight. By 1 in the morning, the video has crossed 800,000 views. By 3 in the morning, 4 million. The comments are a flood. This man called a woman trash to her face on a recording, and we are supposed to keep buying products from his company? I work 2 jobs, and I have more class than this billionaire. This is exactly why nothing ever changes. Nobody important ever pays. Whitney is awake on her couch, reading them. She keeps coming back to that last one. She reads it 5 times. Nobody important ever pays. She closes the laptop. She lies down on her couch in her clothes. She does not sleep. She watches the rain hit the window until the sky starts to turn gray. Across town, Harrison Whitmore sleeps soundly in a $4,000 bed. His phone is on silent. He does not know about the video. He does not know about the 4 million views. He does not know that his daughter Sophie at Stanford has been awake since 2 a.m., shaking, watching the clip over and over. He will not know until 8:15 the next morning. By then, it will be too late for anything except what is already coming. At 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, Whitney is back at her 30th floor office. Black coat, charcoal suit, same pearl studs. She has not slept. Nobody can tell. Theodore is already there with 2 cups of coffee. How are you? I am ready. The car is downstairs. We leave at 10:40. Theo. Yes? Whatever happens in that room, I need you to keep filming. Even if I tell you to stop. Even if security tries to stop you. Keep filming. Understood. Whitney, one more thing. Yes? My mother called me at 5:30 this morning. She saw the video. She wants you to know she is praying for you. Tell her thank you. Tell her I will need it. By 10:30, the conference room on the 50th floor of Whitmore Industries is filling up. Bloomberg is there. CNBC is there. The Wall Street Chronicle, Reuters, 38 credentialed journalists. A live stream feed that has been promoted for 2 weeks. Harrison walks in at 10:50 wearing a new pair of white opera gloves, Italian leather, from Florence. He tells a Bloomberg reporter who did not ask, I have them made twice a year. Tradition matters. Edward Brooks is at his shoulder, holding a tablet, ashen. Edward has seen the video. Edward has known since 5:30 this morning. He has not told Harrison. He was instructed years ago never to volunteer bad news before noon. Sir, the more strategic representative is on the way up now. Good. Bring them in. I want this signed and out the door in 20 minutes. I have a flight at 1. Sir, there is something you should know before they arrive. Edward, 20 minutes. Talk to me at lunch. Sir, I really think... Edward. The elevator doors open. Theodore Davis steps out first. Behind him, in a charcoal suit, walks Whitney Moore. Harrison sees her. For a half-second, his face does the thing a face does when the ground gives out underneath it. The color drops out of his cheeks. His jaw slackens. His left hand, the one not holding the pen, twitches at his side. Then, because he has spent his entire adult life pretending things he cannot afford to feel, he covers it. The smile slides back into place, wider this time, brittle. Ms. Moore, what a pleasant surprise. Mr. Whitmore, I had no idea you would be representing the fund today. I am not representing the fund, Mr. Whitmore. I am the fund. A pause. Bloomberg's camera operator zooms in. Of course you are. You sent me a text message last night, Mr. Whitmore. Do you remember sending it? His smile cracks at the corners. I do not know what you are talking about. You should. It was 9 minutes after I left the Pierre. You threatened to ruin me and everyone I have worked with before lunch today. The screenshot has been preserved. The metadata is intact. A ripple goes through the press section. Pens move. Phones lift. Shall we sit, Ms. Moore? Yes, Mr. Whitmore. Let us sit. The signing begins. 2 copies of the contract, 1 for each side. Harrison signs first. The pen scratches across the page. He signs the second copy. He passes the folder to Whitney. She signs hers. She signs his. The witnesses initial each page. It is now 11:08. Bloomberg cuts to a chyron. $1.5 billion Whitmore Industries growth capital deal signed. The official handshake comes next. The photo opportunity. Mr. Whitmore, Ms. Moore, if you would please stand for the photograph. Harrison stands. He has not removed his gloves. Whitney stands. She extends her hand across the table. Cameras click. Flashes pop. Harrison takes her hand. He shakes once, firm, professional. The flash goes off 3 times. Then he lets go. And he reaches for his left glove with his right hand. Harrison's right hand grips the index finger of the left glove. He pulls. The white silk slides off slowly, deliberately, in front of 300 cameras. He places it on the table beside the contract. Then the right glove. Same motion, same deliberate slowness. The flashes are still popping. He turns to Edward Brooks. His voice is loud, theatrical, designed to carry. Edward, the wastebasket. Edward freezes. Sir? The wastebasket. Edward's face goes the color of paper. He slides the chrome bin out from beneath the side table and pushes it closer to Harrison with his foot. Harrison picks up both gloves between his thumb and forefinger, the way a man holds a dead mouse by the tail. He holds them over the wastebasket for a long second, making sure every camera in the room sees what he is about to do. Then he drops them in. He pulls a linen handkerchief from his breast pocket and wipes his palm. One can never be too careful. You never know what might rub off on you in a room like this. The room goes silent. It is the kind of silence that happens when 300 people simultaneously realize they have just witnessed something that will be replayed on every news network in the country before sundown. Margaret Sullivan stands up at the press table. Her pen falls to the floor. Catherine Anderson, standing at the back wall, puts one hand flat against the wood paneling to steady herself. Whitney does not move for a full 3 seconds. She looks at Harrison, not angry, not stunned, almost sad, like a doctor who has just confirmed a diagnosis she was hoping she would not have to deliver. Then she reaches down. She picks up her signed copy of the contract from the table. She holds it up so every camera in the room can see it clearly. And she tears it in half. The sound is small, a single ripping noise, but the livestream microphones catch it. 20 million people watching on Bloomberg, CNBC, and the Chronicle stream hear it at the same time. She lays the 2 halves back on the table. She straightens her jacket. She looks directly into the lens of the Bloomberg camera. My name is Whitney Moore. I am the founder and chief executive of Moore Strategic Capital. As of this moment, 11:11 a.m. Eastern Time, Project Foundry is canceled. The full $1.5 billion facility is withdrawn. The reason has just been broadcast live to every one of you watching. Thank you for being witnesses. She turns. She walks toward the elevator with Theodore at her shoulder. The reporters part for her like water around a ship. Harrison is still standing at the table. He has not said a word. The elevator doors close behind Whitney. The room erupts. 11:12 a.m. Whitmore Industries stock drops 9% in 4 minutes. 11:15 a.m. CNBC breaks into regular programming. Breaking. Whitmore Industries' $1.5 billion deal collapses on live broadcast. CEO Harrison Whitmore appears to have made racially inflammatory remarks during the signing ceremony itself. 11:17 a.m. Harrison's daughter Sophie sends a text from Stanford. Dad, what did you do? No question mark. 11:20 a.m. Trading is halted on Whitmore Industries pending a corporate statement. 11:23 a.m. Margaret Sullivan posts the new clip. Glove drop on Bloomberg Live, 40 seconds long. It crosses 1 million views in 11 minutes. 11:25 a.m. Harrison is still in the conference room. Reporters are shouting questions. He has not answered a single one. His mouth is open. His hands are at his sides. Edward Brooks approaches him. His own hands are shaking. He has waited 19 years for this. Sir, Ms. Moore, the woman from last night, the gala. She is Whitney Moore. She is the CEO. What? Sir, I tried to tell you, this morning, twice. Edward holds up his tablet. The Forbes cover. The quiet queen of Park Avenue, Whitney Moore, Investor of the Year. Her face and 3/4 profile. Calm. Sharp. Same woman who walked out of the Pierre Hotel 12 hours ago. Harrison looks at the cover. He looks at the wastebasket. He looks at his bare hands. He whispers to no one in particular. Oh no. Catherine Anderson is suddenly beside him. Her face is white. Her voice is quiet, but it cuts. Harrison, get into your office. The board is convening at 1 p.m. This is not a request. This is the chair of your board telling you what is happening next. Catherine, listen, we can fix this. I just need to call her. Harrison, you will not call her. You will not call anyone. You will sit in your office until 1 o'clock and you will think very carefully about what you did to this company on live television. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Yes. He walks toward his office. The reporters are still shouting. He does not hear them. 12:03 p.m. Whitmore Industries stock resumes trading. It is down 19%. $4.2 billion in market capitalization has vaporized in 55 minutes. By 12:30, 3 of his largest clients have asked their PR teams to draft public statements distancing themselves from the company. He sits at his desk. He looks at his hands. He keeps trying to put on gloves that are not there anymore. 40 floors below, Whitney Moore steps into a black sedan on Park Avenue. Theodore Davis closes the door behind her. She looks out the window at the lobby of the building she has just ended. She does not smile. She does not cry. She just breathes. At 1 o'clock sharp, the boardroom on the 48th floor fills with 12 people. Catherine Anderson takes the chair at the head of the table. Harrison takes the seat at the opposite end, the one he has sat in for 22 years. He looks smaller in it today. 3 lawyers from outside counsel sit along the wall. They are not here for him. They are here for the company. Catherine does not waste a word. Before we begin, has every board member watched the broadcast from this morning? Heads nod around the table. Has every board member also reviewed the Wall Street Chronicle footage from last night? More nods. Patricia Reynolds, 8 years on the board, is openly crying. Then we will proceed. I move that Harrison Whitmore be removed as Chief Executive Officer of Whitmore Industries, effective immediately, and that the office of the CEO be transferred on an interim basis to the chair of the board. Catherine, please. Harrison, you will have your chance to respond. Right now, I am completing the motion. Do I have a second? Second. The voice belongs to David Mitchell, Harrison's closest ally for 15 years. He does not look at Harrison when he says it. All in favor? 11 hands go up. Opposed? Harrison raises his own hand. It is the only one. The motion carries 11-1. Harrison, you are no longer the chief executive of this company. Security is already outside your office. Catherine, listen to me. This is a misunderstanding. 2 glasses of champagne last night. The thing this morning was a joke. A bad joke. I can call her. I can fix this. My college roommate was... Harrison. What? Stop talking. The room is silent. Patricia is still crying. Edward Brooks stands against the far wall, watching the man he served for 19 years discover what it feels like to be in a room where no one will save him. You did not lose this company over 2 glasses of champagne. You lost it because you stood in front of 300 cameras and decided you were more important than the $4.2 billion the rest of us spent decades building. That is not a misunderstanding. That is a choice, and it is the last one you will make in this building. 2 security officers in dark suits open the boardroom door. Mr. Whitmore, please come with us, sir. Harrison stands. He looks once around the table. No one meets his eyes. Not David. Not Patricia, not the lawyers. He walks toward the door. He stops beside Edward Brooks. Edward does not move. Edward, please. Sir, I have to ask you to step away from me. It is the first time in 19 years that Edward has said no to Harrison Whitmore. His voice is very quiet. His hand is steady on the tablet. Harrison walks out. The door closes behind him. The escort to his office takes 4 minutes. They give him a single cardboard box. His access card is deactivated in real time at the elevator panel. His phone wipes itself 30 seconds after he hands it over. A photograph of his daughter Sophie at age 6 falls out of his desk drawer. He picks it up. He puts it in the box. At 2:15 p.m., he walks out of the lobby of Whitmore Industries carrying that box. A wall of cameras is waiting on Park Avenue. He does not have an umbrella. The rain has started again. It is light, but enough. Across the street, a black sedan pulls up at the curb. The back window is down 2 inches. Whitney Moore is sitting inside, watching. Harrison sees her. He sets the cardboard box down on the wet sidewalk. He walks across 2 lanes of traffic. He drops to his knees in front of her car, right there on Park Avenue, in the rain, in front of 200 cameras. Ms. Moore, please, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. We can restructure Foundry. I will sign anything you want, please. Whitney lowers the window the rest of the way. She looks at him for 3 seconds. Mr. Whitmore, last night I asked you if you knew what you were doing. You said you did. Now you do. She raises the window. The sedan pulls away from the curb. Harrison stays on his knees in the rain for a long time. Nobody helps him up. By Thursday morning, the federal investigations are already opening. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission announces a pattern and practice investigation into Whitmore Industries' hiring history. Their initial review shows that under Harrison Whitmore's 22 years of leadership, only 3% of senior management positions were held by people of color, in a workforce that was 38% non-white. They request 20 years of internal hiring records by the end of the week. The Securities and Exchange Commission opens a parallel investigation into Harrison's personal trading activity. At 11:43 p.m. on Tuesday night, 6 hours after Margaret Sullivan's video posted, Harrison's personal broker received a written instruction to liquidate $80 million in Whitmore Industries stock before market open Wednesday. The order was not executed. The broker refused. The broker has voluntarily turned over the email chain. The Department of Justice joins the case 2 days later, citing potential civil rights violations under Title VII and possible criminal exposure under federal security statutes. Margaret Sullivan publishes her long-form investigation the following Monday morning. The headline runs across the top of the Wall Street Chronicle front page in 40-point type. The House That Whitmore Built. A 30-year pattern. The piece is 14,000 words. It draws on interviews with 61 current and former Whitmore Industries employees. The stories are nearly identical. A qualified black engineer passed over for promotion in 2014. A Latina vice president pressured to resign after challenging a contract. A pregnant project manager who was told her optics did not fit the company image. Slurs whispered in hallways. A Christmas party joke from 2019 that ended a man's career. A handwritten memo from Harrison himself in 2011 instructing HR to screen for cultural fit in upper management hires. The piece names names. It quotes emails. It includes photographs of the memo. By Friday, 3 of Whitmore Industries' largest clients have publicly canceled their contracts. Combined value, $1.4 billion. By the following Tuesday, Harrison's wife of 26 years files for divorce through her attorney. The filing is sealed, but the news leaks within an hour. Sophie Whitmore releases a 1-paragraph statement from her dormitory at Stanford. I love my father. I do not recognize the man on those tapes. I will not be defending him publicly or privately. I stand with the people my family's company has hurt over the years, and I am ashamed it took this moment for any of us to listen to them. She is 20 years old. 6 weeks after the glove drop, a class-action civil rights lawsuit is filed in federal court by 6 former Whitmore Industries employees. The lead plaintiff is a man named Gerald Owens, a structural engineer who was passed over for a promotion in 2014, despite being the most qualified candidate in his division. Behind the scenes, the plaintiff's legal team is being quietly funded by a discretionary grant from Moore Strategic Capital. Whitney's name appears nowhere in the filings. She has insisted on that. The case is assigned to Judge Eleanor Wilson. She is 68 years old. She was appointed to the federal bench 30 years ago. She has presided over civil rights cases for most of her career. She does not give interviews. She does not need to. The trial runs 11 weeks. 63 witnesses testify for the plaintiffs. The most devastating testimony of the trial comes on day 41. The witness is Edward Brooks. He has resigned from Whitmore Industries the morning after the boardroom vote. He has brought with him 19 years of emails, calendar entries, handwritten notes, and voice memos. He has been preserving them on a private external drive in his apartment for the last 12 years. He never told anyone. He never knew if he would ever use them. He sits in the witness box for 6 hours. He cries twice. He apologizes to the courtroom for taking 19 years to speak. "I needed the paycheck," he says quietly. "My granddaughter is at Howard. I told myself I was being practical. I was being a coward. I am sorry." The jury deliberates for 3 hours and 41 minutes. They return a verdict of libel on all counts. They award $215 million in damages. It is the largest civil rights employment verdict in the history of New York State. The criminal proceedings move in parallel. Harrison Whitmore is indicted on 3 counts: securities fraud, attempted insider trading, and 1 count of wire fraud connected to a series of false statements made to federal investigators. His attorneys negotiate a plea agreement to avoid trial. He pleads no contest. On the day of sentencing, Judge Eleanor Wilson reads from a single page of notes she has written in her own handwriting. "Mr. Whitmore, your wealth did not insulate you from the law. It made you visible to it. You spent 30 years believing that the rules in the room only applied to people who were not you. You were wrong. The court sentences you to 36 months in federal prison, $90 million in disgorgement and fines, and a lifetime ban from serving as an officer or director of any publicly traded company in the United States." Court is adjourned. He is taken into custody from the courtroom. 3 months into his sentence, a letter is published in the New York Times opinion section, written by Harrison Whitmore from a federal correctional facility in upstate New York. It is rumored, though never confirmed, that Sophie helped him write it. It is short. "I was wrong. I hurt people. I built a culture that hurt people. There is no excuse and there is no defense. I owe a debt that I cannot fully pay in this lifetime. I will spend the rest of my years trying. I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry." It is not enough. Most of the people he hurt do not accept it. Some do. Gerald Owens, the lead plaintiff in the civil case, is interviewed by Margaret Sullivan a week after the letter is published. He is asked whether he forgives Harrison Whitmore. He thinks about it for a long time. Then he answers, "Forgiveness is between him and his God. What I want is for my daughter to walk into a building someday and not have to wonder if the man at the top thinks she belongs there. That is what I want. That is all I have ever wanted." The interview goes viral. 6 weeks later, Whitmore Industries is officially renamed under a new charter, and Katherine Anderson is confirmed as its permanent chief executive officer by unanimous board vote. The new name is announced on a Thursday morning: Anderson Moore Industrial Group. 6 months after the glove drop, Whitney Moore is sitting at her kitchen counter in Tribeca at 5:30 in the morning. Black coffee, 2 newspapers in print. The lamp in the corner is still the only light in the apartment. She has not given a single interview about what happened in that conference room. Not to 60 Minutes, not to Forbes, not to the New York Times. 3 publishers have offered her 7-figure advances for a memoir. She has turned them all down. A young reporter from a podcast called her last week and asked, gently, why she has stayed silent through all of it. Whitney listened. Then she answered, "The story tells itself. I do not need to narrate it." The reporter pressed her. "Ms. Moore, the country wants to hear from you." The country has heard plenty. What it needs now is to listen to the people who never got to be on Bloomberg. She did not give the interview. At Anderson Moore Industrial Group, the changes have been quieter than the cancellation, but more permanent. 40% of the board is now people of color. 45% are women. The company has launched a scholarship fund in the names of the 6 plaintiffs. The first recipients begin their engineering studies in the fall. Edward Brooks has not gone back to corporate work. He spends his mornings volunteering at a community college in the Bronx, helping first-generation students prepare resumes for internships. His granddaughter graduated from Howard in the spring. She invited him to her ceremony. He cried through the entire processional. Patricia Reynolds, the board member who cried during the vote, has been quietly leading a working group at Anderson Moore on supplier diversity. They have already shifted $300 million in annual procurement to firms owned by people of color and women. She does not talk about it publicly. Catherine Anderson does not either. The waiter from the Pierre that night, whose name turned out to be Jalen Carter, was offered a paid scholarship to the Cornell School of Hotel Administration by an anonymous donor. He started classes in September. He tells everyone who asks that he does not know who the donor was. On a Saturday morning that fall, Whitney Moore walks 4 blocks from her building to the convention center on Chambers Street. She is wearing jeans and a sweater. No one recognizes her. Inside, the city science fair is in full swing. Hundreds of children stand beside their poster boards. Parents hover with cameras and phones. The smell of glue and printer ink fills the air. Whitney finds her way to the 8th grade section. She walks down the aisle until she finds the booth she is looking for. The poster reads, "A low-cost water filtration system using locally sourced materials." Standing beside it is a 10-year-old girl with carefully braided hair and a name tag that reads, Alana Carter. The judging panel approaches. 3 judges with clipboards. Alana takes a deep breath and begins her presentation. She explains the chemistry of activated charcoal. She explains the engineering of the gravity-fed flow design. She explains the costs of clean water access in low-income neighborhoods. She is precise. She is funny. She does not stumble. 20 minutes later, the judges announce the results. Alana takes 2nd place in the citywide competition. She walks up to the small stage. The microphone is too high for her. A volunteer adjusts it. Alana steadies herself. "I want to thank my mom for staying up late helping me cut the foam board. I want to thank my dad, Mr. Daniel, for telling me every morning that I could do this. And I want to thank Ms. Moore from the 30th floor of our building. She always asks me about my projects. She always remembers." She looks out across the audience. "When I grow up, I want to be a CEO like Ms. Moore. I want to remember people too." The applause is warm. In the front row, in jeans and a sweater, a woman nobody recognizes is wiping her eyes with the sleeve of her cardigan. It is the first time in this entire story that Whitney Moore has allowed herself to cry. So here is what I am asking you tonight. If you had been at that signing ceremony, phone in hand, the exact second Harrison Whitmore dropped his gloves into the wastebasket, what would you have done? Filmed it? Walked out? Spoken up? Stayed silent? Drop your real answer in the comments. Like this video if you believe dignity should never depend on someone else's permission. Subscribe for more stories where the underestimated get the last word. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it tonight. I will see you in the next one. Yo, listen. Karma is real, like seriously real. The way you treat people when you think they're beneath you, that energy always circles back. Always. 'Cause funny how people act all powerful today, then life switches up real quick tomorrow. So check yourself before you throw shade at anybody. Be careful how you talk to people, how you look at them, how you dismiss them. Because one day, that same person might be the one changing your whole future. Respect costs nothing, but disrespect can cost you everything.